Today, I will be talking to you about the United Kingdom education system. The United Kingdom is made up of 4 constituent countries: England, where I live, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Each of these constituent countries have slightly different education system, and today I will be talking to you all about them. Across the United Kingdom, there are 5 stages of education: early years, primary, secondary, further education, and higher education. Education is compulsory for children from the age of 5 and 16. Children in Northern Ireland start school at the age of 4. Education is free in the United Kingdom, except that parents are responsible for things like, stationaries, PE kits, extracurricular activities, school trips, and all of that. If you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Yemisi Adedeji. Here I share about faith, life in the UK, how to settle in the UK, and every month I interview different immigrants on their personal journey in the UK on a video series called Immigrant Voices and Victories. So why not consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my insightful videos. So kindly share this video to anyone that you think might be interested. So let's hop to it. I need to put this out there. I am not a professional. Every information I share in this video today is based on my own personal research. And I hope this comprehensive guide of United Kingdom education system will be useful to you. So please do make your own personal research for whatever stage of education system you would like to access. So let's start with the first stage, early years stage. The early years stage is different for each constituent countries. The early years stage in England is called the early years foundation stage, which covers from birth until a child is 5. In England, there are so many childcare options from birth till a child is 3 years old. You can check my video on childcare options in the UK. Just click up here and you'll be able to see that. Although the government does not subsidize for the childcare from when your child is 0 up until 3 years old, but all 3 and 4 years old get 15 hours free in the United Kingdom. In England, your child starts reception when they turn 4. And at the end of reception, there's usually like a baseline assessment, which makes up something called the early years foundation stage profile. So in England, the early years foundation covers from birth. You can access the early years foundation stage from different settings like, childminders, nurseries, preschools, and all of that. In Wales, it is called the foundation phase. Children are entitled to 30 hours free, and children usually get free part-time hours from the term when they turn 3. In Scotland, the early years education is called ante-preschool. So the compulsory education in Scotland starts with preschool, and children are eligible for, full funding of preschool before they start primary school. While in Northern Ireland, school starts at the age of 4. In Northern Ireland, school starts from primary school. So they have a preschool program where children are allowed to go for a preschool program, which is like, the early years in England, in Wales, and in Scotland. Although in Northern Ireland, that stage is said to not be compulsory, but parents must apply to be able to get a place for the preschool. But there is a program in place which is called the Preschool Education Program. This program is in place to be able to promote high quality preschool setting, which includes a curriculum, for children who will be starting school in year 1 when they turn 4. Okay, so let's talk about the second stage, which is the primary education. The primary education covers between 5 to 11 years old in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, while it's 5 to 12 years old in Scotland. So in England, primary school generally cater for 4 to 11 years old. And some primary schools have nursery or children's center which can, be available for younger children. So there are 4 key assessments which children need to take in England. So the reception, which I had spoken about earlier in the early years, then in year 1 they take like a phonics screening, and then they take a key stage assessment, which is usually called SAT. So they take SAT assessment in year 2 and year 4 and year 6. Generally across the UK, lunch is provided in school. So in England, children would eat lunch for free in school from reception up until year 2. From year 3, you start paying for your lunches. The primary school in Wales, same as that of England, except that there are no assessments in Wales. So Scotland uses a curriculum of excellence which is divided into 2, the broad general education and the senior phase. So the broad general education covers primary school from P1 to P7 and the first 3 years of secondary school, which is S1 to S3. Children also take, standardized assessment in Scotland, which is called SNSA, which is the Scottish National Standardized Assessment. So children will take this assessment in P1, P4, P7, and S3 to review their learning progress. In Scotland, children in P1 to P5 have free lunches, and after this age, which is probably like 5 to 9 years old, parents will be responsible for paying their children lunches. Finally, Northern Ireland primary school begins in year 1 instead of reception like every other, constituent country. So they also have the foundation stage, key stage 1, and they have the key stage 2. So in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, it is usual for children to transfer straight into secondary school at the age of 11. But in Scotland, you transfer into secondary school at the age of 12. In England, where I live, some children make transition into secondary school through middle school. Some counties in England are still using the 3-tier system where you have a lower school, a middle school, and upper school. I have never heard that before, actually, until we moved to Bedfordshire, and I was like, what? So yeah, that's it, the primary education stage. Generally in the United Kingdom, schools are free. However, there are independent funded schools, which are schools that you would need to pay for. Unlike back where I come from, public schools are owned by the government. But here in the United Kingdom, public schools are the schools you need to pay for. And then the state schools are the schools that are free. Yeah, it took me a very long time to be able to differentiate that. The third stage, secondary education. Across the United Kingdom, most children start secondary schools at the age of 11 or 12. Secondary schools across the United Kingdom are either comprehensive, which means that they accept children of all abilities, or selective, such as grammar school, where you have to write an exams. Also, you have academies, you have Christian schools, you have Muslim schools, you have a lot of secondary schools. There are also international schools in the UK. There are French schools, Spanish schools, German schools, there are Montessori schools. Once you think you can afford independent schools, wow, there you have lots of options. The state schools are free, but if you can afford independent schools, which are public schools, there are loads of options. Just head on to Google and browse best schools in the UK. Of course, you're going to have loads of them. Most state secondary schools in United Kingdom are comprehensive, which means students are not required to write any exams before they are enrolled. They will accept students of all abilities. Although grammar schools are free, it is a selective school which, select their students based on their abilities. They are the only state schools allowed by law to take their students on the ground of academic skills. Prospective students for grammar schools must write an entrance exam. This exam is usually called 11 plus. So if your child is coming to the end of their primary school, you want to start preparing your child for 11 plus exams from, say, year 4, year 5, just for them to be able to have enough time. Grammar schools are very good. So if you know that you live in an area where you can have access to grammar schools, start preparing your kids, because they're as good as independent schools, but they are selective. If your child doesn't pass the exams, your child will not be enrolled in a grammar school, and they're free. So why not? There are so many tutors online, or there are so many centers that help prepare children for 11 plus exams. So you might just want to find out. Across the United Kingdom, grammar schools can only be found in England, which has about 164 grammar schools, and in Northern Ireland, which has about 69 grammar schools. There are no grammar schools in Scotland and Wales. At the end of the secondary education, students will write GCSE exams, which is the General Certificate of Secondary Education. In England and in Wales, students will usually write these exams in year 11, while in Northern Ireland, students will write these exams in year 12. In Scotland, they do not write GCSE, they write an exam called National 5. Something else you need to know, across the UK, every student do science. Unlike back home where I come from, if you're in science class, you're doing science. If you're in art class, no. In the United Kingdom, every student do science, English, and maths. Can you take a second to kindly press the subscribe button as you're watching this video? Thank you. Let me know in the comment section if you have just subscribed to my channel. Also, I need to mention to you that at the GCSE level, GCSE is classed as foundation tier or higher tier. This generally influences the schools to put students into these two different tiers. Foundation tiers are usually capped in the sense that you cannot get more than a grade C, which is 5 in the new grading system. So if a student wants to get beyond grade 5, they must be in the higher sets. Hence, it's your responsibility as an immigrant parent when you come into the country, ensure you know what your child would like to study. The reason being that some universities will always check the GCSE grades and might put it as part of their requirement to get school offer. If a child has a higher grade than another, the child with a higher grade might be considered compared to the child that doesn't have the higher grade. GCSE results are very important because they get to influence, the subjects that students will study at A levels. Some sixth forms, for example, would always check what grades you get in the particular subject you want to do. If you don't have a higher tier grade, they might not take that student into the sixth form. So it's very important to have an idea of all these little things. So you must be involved with your child to know what do they want to study. By the time they start getting to year 10, where they start knowing what subjects they are going to be writing in GCSE, at that point you want to know what tier your child's writing, and just encourage them to do their best and at least get into the higher tier. The higher tier, their grade is not capped, so that gives them variety of options. In both, the primary education, the early years, and the secondary education, there is support for children with special needs. There are special needs coordinators available in every school. Just ensure that you can reach out to your council, reach out to your child's teacher. At every point, there is support for children with special need at every stage of education. It is your responsibility as a parent to contact the special need educator, or you let your child's teacher know, so that you can enjoy the benefits of, a progress report and health visitor, a special assessment for your child. The next stage is further education. After students have written their GCSEs, they would be able to pursue a further education. The further education offer diverse opportunities, either an academic route or a vocational route. If a student wanted to go the academic route, they will have to go to a sixth form or college which focuses on A levels, which is very, very crucial in university admission. Then if it is the vocational route that a student chooses, then they'll be able to learn vocational skills on their area of interest. That's it about, the further education stage, because the child gets to choose if they want to go the academic route or the vocational route. Finally, the final stage, the higher education. The higher education is the stage where, students decide to pursue an undergraduate degree or a postgraduate degree at esteemed universities in the UK. So through the different stages of the education system, from, the early years, primary and secondary stage, children should have turned 16 by the end of their secondary school education. At that point, they would be able to have further education until they are 18. Further education could be academic or vocational. If you have just moved to the UK as an immigrant, it's good for you to know what stage of education will your child be enrolled in. So is it the primary stage? Is it the secondary stage? Is it the early years? Because education is compulsory in the UK. I'm so sorry, it's a lot of information. So I have made this table which just simplifies everything I have been talking about. You have the age and then the different constituent countries: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. So you have the different ages from 4 to 5. That's when reception starts in England and Wales. In Scotland is nursery. And this table also tells you of the different assessments. And from the secondary school as well, the age of the child, the constituent countries, what is expected, and what year. And I'm hoping that this would really help you to know what year your child should be when you come in to the United Kingdom. Now that you know all about the United Kingdom education system, my next video is going to be about how to apply for different schools. I hope that this video has been very informative. I know this video, there is a lot of information, but I hope this guide is comprehensive enough to give you, an idea of what the education system in the UK is and the different stages. I will be adding in the description section useful resources, like the Department of Education resources, which will help you to navigate the different schools. Wishing you all the best. So let me know if there are, questions you have about schools in the comment section, or if there's any particular thing you're interested in and you'd like to see me make a video on them. Thank you. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more informative videos. Thank you very much. God bless you. No limits. Thank you.